The next thing I wanted to share with you is when I discovered competitive gaming, or what we now call electronic sports or esports. In the late 90s, early 2000s, when I was growing up, the internet got faster, computers got better, and we had this thing called internet cafes show up for the first time, where everybody, even those that didn't have the best computers or internet, could actually join and play games. And that's when competitive gaming started gaining momentum. I personally spent 4 years as a professional gamer. I played StarCraft Brood War, which is a strategy game, for 2 years. And I played Counter-Strike 1.6, which is a first-person shooter game, for 2 years as well. I had a team, we had a sponsor, we spent quite a bit of time training, went to different tournaments, and to be honest, lost quite a few of them. But we also had the good fortune to win a few too. And this was unforgettable because it was just such a social experience. You know, we would play together. Before then, games were mostly played kind of by yourself, and that's very exciting for the brain and for solving puzzles. But once you have other people involved, then it gets to the next level. And you know, when we started, electronic sports and competitive games were not that big or popular as they are today. This is a picture from an internet cafe, and this is where a lot of the early tournaments would actually take place. You know, you'd kind of come together with your teammates and try to defeat an opponent that is sitting somewhere else in the cafe. Today, esports has truly grown to a major industry that draws many spectators, many sponsors, with tournaments, sometimes even with millions of dollars in prizes, which of course is very exciting. Some of these events would take place in person when coronavirus is not such a terrible thing. And even you couldn't do that. You could actually do virtual tournaments on places like YouTube and Twitch, where very large crowds gather to watch the best people in a given game compete against one another. And this is such an advanced and exciting space that even the cutting edge AI research happens on it. Here you can see a screenshot from AlphaStar, which is an artificial intelligence that is playing StarCraft, arguably the hardest game out there. And it is not only playing it well, it is very commonly defeating some of the top human players. This is a brand new thing that wasn't possible even a couple of years ago. And I think, you know, whether you're interested in playing the games, modifying the games, competing in the games, or just doing advanced research, esports offers all these many different options. So there are really three things that I thought let me just go back here. Three things that made a big impression on me. The first one is quick thinking. Electronic sports are fundamentally about people playing against other people. And that means that they challenge the mind truly like nothing else. In a typical single player game, there's a puzzle to be solved. And once you figure out how the creator of the game set up that puzzle, you can hopefully proceed to win. It can still be very challenging, but the puzzle is finite. With esports, every person is trying to think how to outsmart and outplay their opponent. That means that the puzzle is ever changing. You actually never know. There is no right solution. You have to think on your feet, typically very quickly, because those games are played in real time. How do you actually outplay your opponent? And that is truly a special kind of property of competitive games. Another very special property is team play. To win, you have to be able to come together as a team. Whether you have a professional team that trains together, or you create an ad hoc team just by playing online with friends or even with strangers, you have to be able to figure out how to actually come together, create a strategy that makes sense, and then execute that strategy to prevail. And that's such a valuable skill to have in life in general. And electronic sports and competitive gaming exposes you to it with every match. And finally, competition. in life, you often find that you have to compete because everybody's, of course, trying to ever be better. And esports is one of the most kind of best exposures for that. Outplaying your opponents is the ultimate challenge because they're trying to outplay, outsmart, outthink you as well. And whether you're doing a strategy game or a more action-packed game, doing that is very hard. And for the pro gamers out there in the audience, you know how difficult it is to be a top 1% or so player in any of these competitive games. And for those of you who are perhaps less familiar with esports, or maybe just are not familiar at all, the way that the games are organized is through rankings. And these rankings kind of reflect just how often you win or you lose against other people. So very similarly to chess, you end up having a ranking that is quite coveted and certainly very, very hard to achieve to be one of the top players. So it is those reasons combined that captured my imagination, my attention, and create my excitement for esports, something that I continue to do and to follow even today. When I put it all together, I think that games are a wonderful introduction to the world of computers, and they teach many valuable skills, whether it's about how you think quickly on your feet, strategically, critically, how to play together with others to achieve something together often in real time, or how to participate in a competition, not just to win, but also the inevitable many losses as you play these games. They teach you something about resilience and about never giving up, as somebody said earlier. And I find those skills to be really quite special and quite valuable.